Hello, everybody. This is Noemi Banchi. I'm from broadcasting from Springwood, Australia. And today we have a special activity, we can say. We were studying the book Pillars of Metaphysics by Rubén Cedeño. There is a lot of content in that book, but today what is the word? Today is the day that we need to talk about this topic, which you are reading on your screen. If you don't use it, you lose it. It's a very common expression. The other day I was at work and one person asked me, "Hey Noemi, has anybody claimed this cable was a charger?" And I said, "No, nobody." She said, "Okay, I will keep it." The saying, if you don't use it, you lose it. The activity of today wasn't this, but we must talk about this today because it is what we need to talk. I don't know if someone is listening to this. I do these activities because metaphysics, when I learned, I was a university student. I was in my 20s and really helped me. And one of the objectives of metaphysics is talk about this. So that's why I do it. Now, to talk, you need a feedback. So you need a person who talks and another one who listens to. And that's why we are talking about this, because what is practice remains, what is not practice is lost. I have been in Springwood for a couple of months talking about this content and doing all the things that one person does about communicate an activity, and well, what is practice remains and what is not practice is lost. And I have to bring these Jesus words, and he says this: "Behold, a sower went out to sow, and as he sowed, some seeds fell by the wayside, and the birds came and devoured them." What is this? I'm going to stop and explain this because some people might listen to this and say, "Well, what is that? What is this about?" The sower is the person who speaks, facilitates this metaphysics teaching. And well, the seed fell, so the knowledge fell, and is in this case the birds came and devoured them, is on this wayside. So is the person, let's say this, I picture in my head this: there is a book of metaphysics in a street library among all the books, or in a library, and people look at them, maybe they see the title and then keep going. So that means that they really were engaged with that. That's it. Simple. Some, Jesus continues, some fell on stony places where they did not have much earth, and they immediately sprang up because they had no depth of soil. But when the sun was up, they were scorched and because they had no root, they withered away. So this is an analogy for those who, let's say, they went to a metaphysics activity like this one, but they didn't really practice. So those people say, oh, look, I am here on my own, so I can't be, I don't want to continue, I don't want to come back. So they had the seed was in a stony place, so that person didn't really understand a thing about this, because what they were looking was, I don't know, maybe a social club, maybe something like that, to see more people, I don't know. But this is about yourself. But others fell on the ground. But others. Sorry. I missed that. And some seeds fell among thorns, and the thorns sprang up and choked them. And I have a few examples of this, and this is why people started coming every week, studying metaphysics, and one day they don't come back anymore. And they tell the facilitator that, oh, look, at the same time that the metaphysics activity is, I have to drop my wife to do some shopping, because that's the time that she goes to shopping, and I have to drive because she doesn't drive. And that's it. So they choose to be with their family instead of learning this, and it's perfectly fine. So in my experience, I had a beautiful family. I still have a beautiful family. But when I started studying metaphysics, especially my mom was always, I don't know if against is the word, but she was, oh, why do you spend so much time with the metaphysics? Why you don't do something else? Or always trying to go against of my wish. And I said to my mom, I never discussed. I said, I was silent, and I said, look, this is what I like, that's it. And I was, it might be that the seed was strong in me, because that didn't move me a thing inside. I was sure that this metaphysics is what I want. So, but other seeds fell on good ground and yield a crop, some 100-fold, some 60, some 30 maybe. He who has ears to hear, let him hear. This is what Jesus said. Gautama, on the other hand, says this: oh, one who knows the Dharma and shares it is more precious than all the jewels found along the Ganges. So I'm not talking about the facilitator as such. For example, in my case, I'm nothing. But I know that what I am speaking right now is worth it. And I protect it. So, for example, the other day I came to this room. I am in a meeting room, and the floor was dirty. So I request a vacuum, and someone came and cleaned the room. And always trying to make this in a perfect way. I know that my person has no value, so my person is nothing. But when I am here talking about this, I know what I'm talking is worth it. So, for example, and there is a law of correspondence. As it is above, so below. To get to this room, there is stairs and there is a lift. And since last week, the lift is not working. Read between the lines. As so below, so above. Because the correspondence is either way. We, the facilitators, we don't even charge, let's say, in terms of money for this activity. We pay the rent of the room, we spend our time doing the activity, preparing the activity, bringing the books. For myself, no, because I already know this. But all this teaching is for those who doesn't have it. And the only thing we expect from people is they just at least come. If there is nobody interested, what is the point? It's better to go somewhere else. In Argentina, for example, a week ago there was a conference for about 3-4 days, and there were thousands meeting there to listen to this teaching, the Dharma. And Jesus continues. Whatever town or village you enter, find out who is worthy and stay there until you leave. So Jesus was talking with his disciples. Say, okay, he only could speak for a certain amount of people, but these people can talk with other people. So when Jesus was talking with his disciples, he said, okay, let's go, let's spread this, go and do this. If the whole household is worthy, let your peace come upon it. If not, let your peace return to you. If anyone will not receive you or listen to your words, shake off the dust from your feet when you leave that house or town. Some people even tell me, oh, you are with your metaphysics. With that tone. Okay, metaphysics is like air. What do you mean? It's like, okay, breathe your air. What do you mean? Air is air. Well, people say that. So, and this is new? No, this has hundreds of years. But I don't want to only talk about religion, like Jesus, Gautama. Ruben Cedeño is a musician, and he knows about operas. You probably don't know about this opera, but in metaphysics we learn about so it's a comprehensive teaching. So we learn also about culture, and opera is one of the things that we can learn by listening to what happened in that opera. And this is Madame Butterfly by Puccini. an Italian composer. And what happened in this opera? Well, there's 3 acts. And in the 3rd act, sorry, I'm not going to explain all the opera right now, but I'm just going to talk about the last part, just to understand a little bit. So this couple is Butterfly and Pinkerton. But Pinkerton was an American who came to Japan and met Butterfly. He married her, but then he left. So now Pinkerton came back, but accompanied by his wife, Kate, the American wife. And they ascended the hill where Butterfly lives. It's because Butterfly represents the soul and Pinkerton represents the student. So this is all about the representation. The ascension of a hill represents a high state of consciousness. So when you leave work, when you leave your family, when you leave your hobby, when you leave your the bar, the country club, etc., just for 1 or 2 hours to go to study metaphysics is because you are spending, or whatever religion, is when you spend time to the high state of consciousness. So there is where Butterfly lives. Kate represents the mundane, material world. There is always the mundane, material, and the spiritual or interiority. The mundane world is not bad. We're not condemning the world. It's just bad. I would say bad. If you don't have time to study metaphysics, it's because you are intermingled with a lot of trouble in the mundane world. Upon realizing there is nothing more she can do for that live stream, so Butterfly saw Pinkerton with his wife, and she said, okay, what can I do? If he chose her, that's fine, perfect, I'm leaving. Butterfly makes the conscious decision, or made the decision, to return to her plane of light, because Butterfly represents the soul. Therefore, she performs harakiri. The harakiri is the representation of that she leave that person, that's it, to go to her plane of light. Before doing so, she places an American flag in her son's hand. Because, sorry, I forgot to say that when Pinkerton, they had sex after they married, and from that act, Butterfly got pregnant. So her son was with her, but Pinkerton didn't know about he has a son. So anyway, so Butterfly places an American flag in her son's hand, symbolizing that he must go to America, because it is in the Western Hemisphere that the spiritual teaching is destined, or the inner teaching is destined to grow. Sometimes you don't really understand the person who gives you the teaching, who speaks about this teaching. It's okay, because, so I'll give you an example. Elena Petrovna Blavatsky was giving teaching metaphysics. She was talking about metaphysics, but at that time they didn't use that word exactly as metaphysics, so they used more esoteric. Anyway, the same. But some students complain about her mode, her attitude, maybe her language, because she English, it wasn't her first language. Who knows? The same as myself, English is not my first language, but anyway, I am still doing this talking about this. And the attitude that she had with some of them, they really didn't understand. But one of her students, Annie Besant, she said, sometimes I don't really understand Elena Petrovna Blavatsky, but at the end of the day, I don't care, because she has something that I want, and that's the knowledge. So that's why I'm saying that here the person who speaks, my person, is not worth it at all. But what I say, I know is worth it. So I'm not going to give gold to pigs. All right. And coming back to the opera. Like I said, in America, talking about the whole continent, North, Central, and South America. And like I said, just a week ago, hundreds of people were meeting in Argentina about the 43rd International Conference of Metaphysics. So for 43 years, Rubén Cedeño, and of course not on his own, with a team, working all together to talk about this. And this explanation about the opera, nobody talks about it. He does. So let's see the last part of this opera, the Madame Butterfly by Puccini. I forgot to say about this part. It's very interesting when she says to her son, "Joka, go on, Joka." It's when someone is play, go and play. When someone prefers to continue doing work, going out with friends, I don't know, doing sport, any other activity, it's okay. It's just their attention is on that and they are not. So let's put this in these words. You don't expect from a kid in kindergarten to know about a math equation that someone learns at university. You don't expect that. So you leave the kids playing in the playground and they are happy, and that's what they should be.